We are here in the least visited country in Europe. Moldova is, surprise, surprise, it's the poorest country in Europe. That, by consequence, comes with the fact that it is also an inexpensive. I would say it's like remarkably better than a lot of people might think. I think if you were to go and you were to check out on YouTube, you would see some places that suggest it's kind of a complete dump, but this is actually not quite true. There are actually some fairly nice places. I'm in Chisinau right now. The language here is basically Romanian, although I would say that English is very well spoken. And I would say like some of the cheapest food that I've had anywhere. It's kind of the prices that you used to get back in the day in some Eastern European countries. For example, I think this is the first time in a long time that I've been able to get a piece of cake, nice piece of cake, for like 50 cents. Very affordable on the food side. Housing is not as cheap as one might expect, given some of these other things. And so it's not that it's high by, London standards or something, it's high by the local wages standards. It's fairly difficult to fly into the country and out of the country. It's not very well connected. So there's not that many residency options that are fairly easy for people. So there's no golden visa, there's no digital nomad visa. That being said, it's not very difficult to get a visa here by setting up a company. It's also pretty good tax-wise. It's a flat 12% personal tax. There's free zones here. So you can get, if you actually operate through a free zone company, 3% or 6% or 9%, depending on what is going on. Most cases it will be 6%. However, you can also get a complete exemption if you invest for a period of a few years, if you invest a certain amount of money in the free zone, depending on how much you do. And so that's pretty cool. It's not an EEA country, so therefore not EU, and so you don't have the same payment processing options that you might get in some places. There is dividend withholding tax of 6%, which is, again, not the most ideal. However, you are in a situation where the tax treaties, in certain cases, using holding companies, can take that down to 0. I mean, nobody talks about having a company in Moldova, and that's kind of a good thing because, for example, they're not on the Portuguese blacklists. They're not on a bunch of these blacklists where they're viewed as a tax haven. Now, some of the things that are issues are typically the normal rule is supposed to be, and this isn't always enforced and things like this, but that you're not supposed to be out of the country more than 90 days out of every 180 days when it comes to not wanting to lose your residence permit. And that's like a pain, right? So you can get the citizenship, and they do allow dual citizenship. However, in most cases, it's not particularly easy. You're typically talking about 10 years of residency. The passport is it's like a medium passport. It's very comparable to Montenegro. There's nothing particularly great about the banking here. You have all the concerns that you would have or expect in some place like this. Not to say that it's going to be terrible, but it's a third grade banking destination.